In the small town of Oakwood, there was a building that did not look like a hospital. While other medical buildings were gray and serious, this one was painted in a bright, sunny yellow that made people feel warm even on rainy days. It had big, clean windows that caught the morning light, and the garden was always full of life. Red tulips, purple lavender, and white daisies danced in the wind. This was the Rainbow Clinic, and it was a place of hope. Inside this clinic worked a woman named Dr. Elena. People called her a special doctor because she was different from any other doctor they knew. Most children are afraid of doctors. They think of cold rooms, white walls, and the scary smell of medicine. They worry about sharp needles and loud machines. But at Dr. Elena's clinic, the experience was totally different. The walls of the waiting room were not empty. They were covered in beautiful drawings of friendly dragons, space rockets flying to the moon, and talking animals wearing hats. There was a large wooden table in the corner with building blocks and colorful books. Most importantly, there was no smell of chemicals. Instead, the air always smelled like fresh cinnamon cookies or sweet vanilla. Dr. Elena herself was a woman with a very kind face and eyes that always seemed to be smiling. She wore a clean white coat, but underneath it she always wore colorful shirts with funny patterns, sometimes polka dots, sometimes tiny dinosaurs. On her stethoscope, she had small stickers of glowing stars. When she walked down the hallway, her shoes made a happy click-clack sound that signaled help was coming. She always carried a small, mysterious brown bag full of surprises for her brave little patients. One sunny Tuesday morning, a young boy named Toby arrived at the clinic. Toby was 6 years old, and he was very, very scared. He had a high fever that made his head feel heavy and a sore throat that made it hard to swallow.
His mother held his hand tightly, but Toby wanted to run away. He stayed close to the door, his eyes wide with fear, looking at every corner for something scary. "I don't want to go in, Mommy," Toby whispered, his voice shaking. "The doctor will give me a shot. I know it." Suddenly, the door to the inner office opened. It wasn't a serious nurse with a clipboard who came out, but Dr. Elena herself. She didn't look down at Toby from high above like a giant. Instead, she knelt down on the floor, so she was at the same height as him. She looked him right in the eyes with a gentle expression. "Hello there," she said with a voice that sounded like a warm hug. "You must be Toby. I am so glad you are here. I was just looking for a brave explorer to help me with a very important mission. I heard there is a secret invisible dragon hiding in my office, and I need someone with very strong, bright eyes to find it. Do you think you can help me?" Toby stopped crying for a moment. He wiped his eyes with his sleeve. "A dragon?" he asked, sounding curious despite his fear. "Yes," Dr. Elena replied, nodding seriously as if it were a state secret. "But he is a very shy dragon. He only shows himself to children who are brave enough to sit on the big blue chair. It's a magic chair, you see. Once you sit there, you become the captain of the room." Toby looked at his mother. She smiled and gave his hand a gentle squeeze. Toby took a deep, shaky breath, let go of the door frame, and walked slowly into the office. Inside the office, Toby didn't see any scary machines or sharp tools. Instead, he saw the big blue chair. It was large and soft, and it looked exactly like the seat of a high-tech spaceship. Toby climbed up and felt like he was about to blast off into the stars. "Now, Captain Toby," Dr. Elena said, "before we find the dragon, I need to check your heart. This is my magic listener." She showed him her stethoscope. It had a small, fuzzy teddy bear head covering the metal parts so it wouldn't feel cold on his skin. "It lets me hear the secret music your heart makes. Every person in the world has a different song." She placed the stethoscope gently on Toby's chest.
The room was very quiet. Toby held his breath, listening. "Oh," Dr. Elena exclaimed with a look of wonder. "Your heart is playing a drum song. Boom, 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 boom. It is a very strong and fast beat. It tells me that you are a very fast runner. Is that true? Do you run fast in the park?" Toby giggled, his fear melting away. "Yes, I run faster than my dog, Buster." "I knew it. The heart never lies," she said. Next, she took a small silver light. "Now I am going to look into your ears, but I'm not just looking for wax. I am looking for your dreams. I want to see what you were thinking about while you slept. Yesterday, did you dream about a giant mountain of chocolate ice cream?" Toby laughed loudly this time. "No, Dr. Elena, I dreamed about flying a kite with my grandpa." "Ah, even better," Dr. Elena said, writing a note on her paper. By now, Toby was not scared at all. He had forgotten that he felt sick or that his throat hurt. He felt like he was part of a wonderful story, and Dr. Elena was his partner in the adventure. "Now, Toby," Dr. Elena said, her tone becoming a bit more gentle, "I need to look at your throat. It might be a bit red today because some tiny, grumpy bugs are having a loud party in there. They brought their own drums and they are making a mess, which is why it hurts when you swallow. We need to tell them the party is over and it's time to go home." She gave Toby a smooth wooden stick that smelled like a popsicle. "Can you open your mouth as wide as a big, hungry lion and say, 'Ah'?" Toby opened his mouth as wide as he could. "Eh!" "Perfect," she said, looking inside with her light. "I see them. The grumpy bugs are wearing tiny purple hats and jumping around. But don't worry. I have something special for them. We will give you some magic juice. Some people call it medicine, and it will make the bugs feel very, very sleepy. Once they fall asleep, they will stop jumping, and your throat will feel smooth again." She didn't just hand his mother a piece of paper. She explained how the medicine worked, like a tiny army of helpers that would protect Toby's body while he rested. Toby felt important, like a general leading a group of heroes to victory over the bugs. Before Toby left the office, Dr. Elena opened her famous surprise bag. It was a leather bag that looked old and magical. "Because you are the best explorer and the bravest captain I've seen all week, you get to choose a badge of courage." She held out a box filled with colorful stickers, small plastic dinosaurs, and glowing rings. There were stickers of planets, superheroes, and kittens. Toby looked carefully and chose a sparkling sticker of a golden lion with a big mane. "That is a great choice," she said, peeling the sticker and placing it on Toby's shirt. "Remember, Toby, being brave doesn't mean you aren't afraid. Everyone feels afraid sometimes, even doctors. Being brave means you do what you need to do, even when your heart is beating fast. You did a great job today." Toby walked out of the clinic with his chest pushed out and his head held high. He wasn't crying anymore. He looked at his mother and said, "I liked the doctor, Mommy. She isn't scary at all. She is my friend." A few days later, a girl named Lily came to the clinic. Lily was 10 years old, and she was going through a very hard time. Her grandmother was very sick in the hospital, and the sadness was too much for Lily to handle. She had stopped talking to her friends, her teachers, and even her parents. She just sat in silence, looking at the floor. Her father was very worried and didn't know how to help her. Dr. Elena knew that Lily didn't need a thermometer or a stethoscope. She needed something else. When they entered the room, Dr. Elena didn't try to force Lily to speak. She didn't ask her, "How do you feel?" or "Why are you quiet?" Instead, Dr. Elena sat down at a small wooden table in the corner of the room. On the table, there were dozens of bright crayons and large sheets of white paper. "You know, Lily," Dr. Elena said softly, "I am feeling a bit tired of talking today. Sometimes words feel too heavy to carry. Would you like to help me draw a picture instead? I want to imagine a beautiful garden." For 30 minutes, the doctor and the girl sat in total silence, the only sound being the scratch-scratch of crayons on paper.
Dr. Elena drew a tall, strong tree with many branches. Lily watched for a while, then she picked up a blue crayon and drew a small bird sitting on a branch. Then she picked up a yellow crayon and drew a bright sun. Slowly, Lily began to use more and more colors, pinks, oranges, and deep greens. "That is a beautiful bird, Lily," Dr. Elena whispered, not looking up from her own drawing. "He looks very peaceful. Where do you think he is flying?" Lily stopped drawing. She looked at the bird for a long time. Her eyes filled with tears and her lip trembled. "He is flying to the hospital," she said, her voice so soft it was almost a breath. "He is flying to see my grandma so she won't be lonely." Dr. Elena reached out and held Lily's hand. Her hand was warm and steady. "Your grandma loves you very much, Lily, and she knows you are thinking of her. Sometimes, when our hearts are very sad, our words get stuck inside, like birds in a cage. But colors and drawings can help them fly out. It's okay to be sad, and it's okay to talk about the things that hurt." They spent the rest of the hour talking, not about medicine, but about feelings. Dr. Elena explained that the heart needs to be healthy and happy, just like the rest of the body. When Lily left the clinic that day, she was holding her drawing tightly, and she gave her father a small, tired smile. It was the first time she had smiled in weeks. Dr. Elena believed that health was about more than just checking for fever or fixing a broken arm. She believed that being healthy meant being connected to nature and the people around us. Every Saturday morning, regardless of the weather, she spent her time in the large garden behind the clinic. She invited all her young patients and their families to come and help her dig in the dirt. "We are growing happy vegetables here," she told the children, who were all wearing oversized garden gloves. "We have carrots for bright, sharp eyes. We have spinach to make your muscles as strong as iron. And we have these big red tomatoes for a healthy, happy heart." The children loved it. They loved the feeling of the cool, wet soil between their fingers. They learned that a small seed needs water, sunlight, and a lot of patience to turn into something beautiful. They saw that people are the same way. We need care and time to grow strong. One Saturday, a young boy who used to be very sickly and weak helped Dr. Elena plant a giant sunflower. He visited the garden every week to check on it. One day he shouted with joy, "Look, Dr. Elena, look at my flower. It's taller than me now." "That's because you took wonderful care of it," she said, wiping a bit of dirt off his nose. "And because you have been eating your vegetables and playing outside. You are growing just as fast as that sunflower. Soon you'll be taller than me." One particularly cold winter, a terrible flu came to the town of Oakwood. Almost every family had someone who was sick. The clinic was busier than it had ever been. Dr. Elena worked from 5 in the morning until late at night, seeing patient after patient. She was exhausted and her eyes were tired, but she never lost her patience. She never stopped smiling. One night, a massive snowstorm hit the town. The wind howled like a hungry wolf, and the snow piled up high against the doors. Suddenly, the lights in the entire town went out. The clinic was dark and cold. Dr. Elena was still there, sitting with a young mother and a tiny baby who had a very high fever. The parents were terrified because they couldn't get home and they couldn't call for help. Dr. Elena didn't panic. She moved calmly through the dark. She lit dozens of candles, and soon the room was filled with a warm golden glow. She wrapped the baby in warm blankets and stayed by the mother's side all night long. To keep them calm, she sang soft old songs and told stories of heroes who traveled through the snow to find hidden treasures. "The fever is like a winter storm," she explained to the parents as she rocked the baby.
It is very loud and very strong right now, but it is just a phase. It will pass. We just have to stay together, keep the baby warm, and wait for the morning. The sun always comes back." She didn't sleep a wink. She checked the baby's temperature every hour. When the sun finally rose over the white, snow-covered hills, the baby's fever finally broke. The baby opened his eyes and made a small, happy sound. The parents cried with relief and hugged Dr. Elena. "Thank you, Dr. Elena," the father said. "You are more than a doctor to us. You are like an angel who watched over our family." "I am just a person who cares," she replied, her voice tired but happy. "And caring is the best medicine in the world." The people of Oakwood wanted to show Dr. Elena how much they loved her. They had seen her kindness for many years, and they wanted to say thank you in a way she would never forget. They planned a secret party for months. One Sunday afternoon, when the weather was warm and the garden was in full bloom, they asked Dr. Elena to come to the town square. When she arrived, she was shocked. Hundreds of people were there. The trees were decorated with ribbons, and there was music playing. All the children she had treated over the years were there. Toby was there, now 10 years old, still wearing a lion sticker on his jacket. Lily was there, smiling and talking happily with her friends. Even the boy who planted the sunflower was there, and he really was taller than Dr. Elena now. The mayor of Oakwood stood up on a small stage. "Dr. Elena," he said to the crowd, "you have taught us a very important lesson. You taught us that medicine is not just about science and facts. It is about kindness, it is about using our imagination, and it is about love. You have made our children brave, and you have made our town a family. We have a gift for you." They presented her with a large wooden box. Inside was a beautiful handcrafted stethoscope made of shining silver, with a tiny rainbow and a heart engraved on the side. But the real gift was a thick, handmade book. It was filled with letters and drawings from the children. Each page told a story of how Dr. Elena had helped them feel brave when they were scared, or happy when they were sad. Dr. Elena was so moved that she couldn't speak for a moment. She looked at the book, flipping through the pages of drawings and messy handwriting. She saw the faces of the families she had helped, the babies she had delivered, and the children who were now young adults. "Thank you," she finally said, her voice filled with emotion. "People often ask me why I am a special doctor. The secret is very simple. I don't see patients when you walk through my door. I see my friends. I don't see cases or illnesses. I see stories that are waiting to be told. Every child is a miracle, and it has been the greatest honor of my life to watch you grow." Many years passed, and eventually Dr. Elena retired. But the Rainbow Clinic did not close. The town made sure it stayed open. The new doctors who came to work there were often the very same children Dr. Elena had treated. They had become doctors and nurses because they wanted to be just like her. Toby became a famous pediatrician. On his very first day of work, he put a golden lion sticker on his desk to remind him of his first mission. Lily became a therapist and an artist, helping children express their feelings through colors, just as she had done. The legend of the special doctor lived on for generations. It reminded everyone in Oakwood, and anyone who heard the story, that the most powerful tool a person can have is not a degree or a fancy machine. The most powerful tool is a heart that knows how to listen, a hand that knows how to hold, and a smile that can turn a scary room into a place of magic. The story of Dr. Elena is a reminder for all of us. We may not all be doctors, but we all have the power to be special in our own lives. We can choose to be the person who listens when someone is quiet. We can be the person who gives a badge of courage to a friend who is having a hard day. When you feel afraid of something new, remember Toby and his invisible dragon. When you feel like the world is too quiet and sad, remember Lily and her colorful bird. And when you think about what you want to be when you grow up, remember that being kind is the most important job in the world. Medicine can heal the body, it is true. But only kindness can heal the soul and bring a community together. That is what made Dr. Alina the most special doctor in the world. And that is the magic she left behind in the hearts of everyone in Oakwood. If Dr. Alina's kindness touched your heart, please like this story and subscribe for more heartwarming tales. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family to spread the magic of kindness today.